How are we doing, guys? It's the final before the whistle blows of the season. As you can tell, I've still not been able to sort out my camera because look at this. Look at this, guys. Let me down. It's let me down.
Oscar,
can't connect it up. Apologies, guys.
Are you broadcasting from a Chilean mine?
I am, mate. I thought, as this is possibly your last before the whistle blows for some time, I thought I'll give you a bit more content to work with, so you can just rip me for an hour. Give us a bit more content to work with there, mate. But
I would say, it's actually the way you look at the moment, it's a massive improvement.
I know, mate. I know it's quite good, isn't it?
Yeah, keep that up. It works.
Cheers for that, mate. Cheers for that.
If we could just work on the muting of the sound, I think we've sorted it.
Just one more to go.
One more thing to go. I've got too many senses that can still detect Oscar. Like, two of them need to get knocked off.
I can hear him, I just can't see him. I know he's there.
I don't know which is worse. Actually, I think I'd rather see you.
Yeah.
That's something. That's something.
Corey doesn't have to agree. I don't need to drag you with me, Corey. You're still the nice guy.
But he is doing it anyway. Corey is happily
still the good one.
Just sort of chipping in.
He's actually doing the head in this mic. Right, that's a bit better, isn't it?
Corey's I've stopped as the big bully, and Corey's the lad who walks past at the end and just kicks the kid who's already
just for the last one kick.
Slyly walks past.
Last one of the season. Let's just get it in. Do you know what I mean? We're gonna miss it.
Oh, dearie me. But guys, once again, we are sponsored by the fantastic football prizes on this video. First prize on offer. Look at that. The beautiful man himself, Pablo Hernandez, signed and framed Leeds United shirts. $3.95 a ticket. 99 tickets available. Competition ends this Wednesday at 7:30. Check that one out, guys. It's Pablo. Look at that piece. And also, the probable player of the season, Stuart Dallas, the Cookstown Cafu, the Cookstown Kimmich, whatever you want to call him now. Look at this piece. Signed and framed, Leeds United shirts, $4.95 a ticket, 99 tickets available. Competition ends on Wednesday night. So check that one out, guys. And check out our fantastic sponsors, Football Prizes. So let's get into this one, guys. We've had two managers announce that they're departing their football clubs at the end of the season. Nuno Espirito Santo and Roy Hodgson. Let's start with Nuno. Corey, a surprise?
Yeah, it was a massive surprise. I really didn't see it coming. I think they've probably pulled the trigger a little bit too early, if I'm honest. I know their recruitment wasn't great. They've missed Jimenez massively. Podence has been out for most of the season. I did think it was going to be a Tottenham thing. I did think Tottenham were going to come in for him, but I don't think that's the case. So a little bit of mutual consent involved. And I think it's something to do with he felt a bit down. He couldn't see his family. So I can understand that. But definitely for them, it's opening it up now. We knew Palace was going to be one where there was loads of players out the door and it was going to be a bit of a void. But Wolves is an interesting one because I know they've had a poor season, but I wouldn't say they've fallen down that badly. So yeah, definitely surprising.
Okay. But guys, I can assure you the light is turned on. This camera that I'm having to use
it's
is absolutely dreadful.
The moment, Oscar, you look like an angel. You got the sunlight shining upon your face. You look like an angel. You look fantastic.
Oh, that is wonderful, Locks. Hal. Oh, dear me.
He was doing this before, wasn't he?
It's absolutely done me in this, right?
I
bought this camera about 2 months ago. It's been good as gold for me, and it's let me down. It's let me down today. I'm not going to lie. It's let me down. It's just not turned up. I mean, Hal, any surprises? Nuno is leaving Wolves for you?
Nuno is noon go, and I'm massively surprised. What's it been? 4 seasons?
4 seasons?
I didn't see this coming at all. It hit me as just like breaking news while I was on air earlier today, and I'm thinking, like a lot of people are, that maybe Spurs is where he's going to go because it's just like they're a club without a manager, and he'll obviously want to move up in his career. He's done a cracking job at Wolves, bit of a backward step this season, but we never really expect every team to just keep that trajectory going. I'm really shocked. I think he was onto a good thing at Wolves, and of course he's got that dodgy Portuguese backing where they can get players from Portugal for cheaper than any other team. Seemed like a good thing. I don't know why he would not want to do it and carry on for longer. They love him there as well, so yeah, really surprised.
Yeah, no, they do. And I mean, obviously in the week as well, we saw Roy Hodgson get a very good send-off from Palace. And to be fair, it was Yeah, you got to look at what Roy Hodgson's achieved in the game. 45 years of management, 45 years in football management. Absolutely incredible stuff. Hal, your thoughts on Hodgson? I mean, is he a great for you? Is he
just
a
some of the
great in terms of
comments?
longevity?
I need to address some of the comments about my Irish accent. I was actually I was born in between Leo and Capricorn, which actually makes me a leprechaun. So I'm allowed to get away with that. I'm also I know you haven't seen me, Oscar, but from what people tell me, you're quite tall. And when we eventually meet in real life, which I like to imagine will be like, you'll be on one side of a meadow, I'll be on the other, and we'll run towards each other in slow motion. And then we'll just have a big old cuddle in the middle. I'm very short. You can't tell, but I'm actually standing right now. I'm about 5'4", so the leprechaun thing works. So I could definitely get away with the accent. Also, another thing, my mum did one of those DNA tests and found out that we as a family all originate from Connaught in the Republic of Ireland.
Get away with it then.
Get away with it.
Do it as much as I like.
Yeah, exactly.
What we're actually going to do is we're going to go as a family to this part of Ireland where our relatives will be, and we're going to go and meet them. And I'm just going to go burst into a pub and just start speaking like that and see if anyone dares challenge me, because I am from Connaught, apparently. I didn't realise it. But, yeah, hopefully that answers your question about Roy Hodgson.
Dear me. Well, I heard you bet. I'm not even gonna. I won't even go. I was gonna make a little joke about your height, but I'm not gonna do it.
You can. I don't mind. It's not bothering. I'm not a professional basketball player, so it doesn't matter.
I might add it in at some point. Corey, your thoughts on Roy leaving Palace? I mean, Palace have got a difficult job now in terms of obviously Eze looks like he's going to be out for at least half of next season. Obviously, a lot of players out of contract. I mean, do you see Palace as being potentially in a bit of bother next season?
Yeah, it's weird. Like I was listening to another podcast today, and they were talking about the type of players that are leaving, and there's players like Jeffrey Schlupp, who I actually think is a decent player for them, and maybe Benteke's looking at it and thinking, do you know what, I might go, and he's in a bit of this decent form. I think Frank Lampard was linked. Apparently, he said that he doesn't want to go in there because he knows it's such a risk, which is typical Frank Lampard. But I would put them down as relegation candidates, because irrespective of whether you get someone in that's got a great style of play, some decent players, when you lose 10, 11 senior players like that, you are likely to struggle next season. So it's unfortunate for Roy. I think Roy has basically been pushed out the door, if we're honest. He's kind of got to that age where they're saying, you've done your time, go on, enjoy your retirement. And it was sad to see him a little bit, because he said he loved football and he'd miss it. But he's been a great manager. I know he's not been a top manager, but he's definitely sort of had his time, 45 years in the game, and fair play to him.
45 years is absolutely unreal. I don't feel... Certainly the new kind of managers coming in now, I just can't see them having 45 years in the job in that sense. I just can't see it. You know, your Artetas and obviously all these new managers coming in, it just feels impossible. I just can't get over the idea of Howell being 5'4".
Well, I'm not really. That was more for comedic effect. I'm actually 5'9", which is the average height for a man. But that's not funny. All right, still quite funny, because I understand, Oscar,
it's not the average height.
It is the average height.
It's average.
I thought 5'11" was.
I thought 5'8" was average.
5'8", I'm above average.
5'8"?
In at least
so you're telling me...
department.
What, 5'8"'s average?
Apparently.
All right, Oscar, how tall are you? Go on, let's get your cards on the table.
6'3".
Corey?
5'11".
It's a good height. It's a good. Both of you.
Great height.
That's
just
a great
off 6 foot would have been great just to...
It's only a couple of... What, you 5'9", Corey 5'11". It's not...
Great height.
It's not that different.
Brilliant height.
It's a great height. I would.
Perfect height.
I do
5'11". I would love it. Let's have a look at this. Connaught is pronounced Connacht. So a lot of people said I pronounced Connaught wrong. I've never actually heard it said out loud. Although there was someone who said you're pronouncing it wrong, and they got the "you are" grammatically wrong. So I think sort of 1-1 now on that one.
Anyway, before we go into the games, Hal, I believe you've had a, well, tell us about your book. I was trying to figure out a really fancy way of presenting that.
Where are you going with this?
I think I've got to get in 3 different promotions for Hal here. I'm thinking, let's get the first one in early. Tell us about the book, mate, before
I had 20
pulped.
I only had 20 copies left, so it's done amazing. So thank you. And Danny, who used to be on this channel, he bought one, which is really, really good of him. Doesn't have PayPal. Who the hell doesn't have PayPal? But anyway, we got around it. So I've got I've got 19 copies left, and as this is my last appearance, this is your last chance to get a copy of All Hollow. If you want one, at DJ Hal Stewart, get at me on Twitter. I will sign it. If you're Danny, I'll sign it Bruno Fernandes. But if you actually want it from me, I will happily do that. Thank you, Oscar, for giving me that opportunity.
Not a problem, not a problem. Still got to get another 2 in. But we will do. Don't worry, Hal, we will do. Let's go into the first game then. I'll talk about your team, Hal. Sheffield United versus Burnley. Obviously, look, going into this game, the fans aren't happy at the prospect of being charged £40 for the pleasure of watching Sheffield United Burnley. I mean, has anything changed since we last spoke? Has there been any kind of announcement from the club? Anything relaxed a little bit, or is it still really bad?
Well, Oscar, you remember last time I said I was going to donate money to NHS charities, right?
Yes.
Which I did. Can you believe that some people questioned me actually doing that, and I had to produce a receipt and put it on Twitter?
I can imagine.
Isn't that awful? Isn't that awful that I had to prove that I'd done that, which I did obviously do. And I also gave money to Sheffield Children's Hospital, so I ended up giving more if I'd just gone to the game. But anyway, that's beside the point. They have not backed down on the 40 quid. I think 20's plenty, 40's too much. We've got 20 points. That would have been £1 a point, which I think for what the team has served us up would have been perfectly acceptable. 40 quid. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a huge amount of money in Premier League terms for a football match nowadays, but I genuinely think you've got to take into account the absolute nonsense and the rubbish that we've had to endure this season before you then charge what is a dead rubber game when the opposition that you're playing for their last home game, in actually a much more glamorous fixture against Liverpool, have said free. I just can't get my head around it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. But, I mean, you got a cracking win last week, Hal. Cracking win at Everton. Obviously, 17-year-old debutant scores.
17,
Tell us about that, mate. Tell us about that, mate.
Well, the big news. Daniel Jebison follows me on Twitter, so I think that's big. Guy knows his onions. He hasn't bought a copy of All Hollow, but he hit like on a post I did about it, so we'll take that.
Really?
He
That's
did.
Not bad.
I know, right? He's been very supportive. He is Canadian. He's from, I think, Ottawa in Canada, and then his parents are Jamaican. But he has just been called up to England under-19s, so work that one out. His accent is absolutely brilliant. If you can imagine a kid who was born in Canada to Jamaican parents, but moved to Sheffield as a young lad. His accent is all over the place. You will never hear. There's like certain words where he's just like. There's a guy who does the Blades pod, and he tried to do an impression of him, and he literally just said, "Go Sheffield United, yeehaw." It just sounds at some points it just sounds like he's in an American sitcom, and another time it sounds like he's going down the Chippy on Ecclesall Road.
It's a bit like have you ever heard Owen Hargreaves speak? He's got a crazy accent as well. Try and think who else does. Didar Haman as well. Dietar Haman as well. It's got a crazy accent as well, like sort of from Scouse to German, and all that lot. But
Jan Molby as well, because I'm older than you.
Jan does, yeah.
Jan Molby has a very odd accent, yeah.
I actually know Jan quite well, to be fair. I won't go too much into that, yeah. I know Jan quite well.
When you say you won't go too much into that, Oscar, that makes it sound romantic.
No, not
like that. I know it's not, but if you just said I know him quite well and left it at that, no one would have had any question. But by adding, I won't go into it, suddenly there's suspicion.
Right, Corey, your thoughts on Sheffield United versus Burnley?
Yeah, it's a dead rubber, isn't it? Like, let's be honest. I was buzzing. Sheffield United did us a massive favour, by the way, getting that 1-0 over Everton, and I didn't really see it coming. But when they called him up, I just thought it's going to happen. And he does look like a decent player, to be fair. I'm sure he'll get time in the Championship. Again, nothing riding on it. Burnley, they got battered by Liverpool. They've got nothing riding on it. It's going to be a boring game, to be honest, mate. And I do think it's unfair with some of these clubs, and it's the same for West Ham, charging money on top of season tickets. You've got people that have paid money, and now you're asking for I mean, Spurs fans paid 60 quid the other day to watch them get beat by Villa. I mean, and you've already paid that. It's just ludicrous. How much money do you want? So
how are you not laughing at that, though, Corey?
I love it. Don't worry.
We'll find that a little bit.
We'll talk about Tottenham.
The own goal.
Lovely.
Actually, I've got Tottenham on the agenda. Yeah, Hal. Obviously, you've said to us off air who you think the next manager's going to be. We won't say it.
You can say it.
Can we say it?
Yeah, it's Bookie's favourite now, so it's absolutely fine to say.
So Paul Heckingbottom's got the job anyway. No, it's not. It's not.
Do you know,
Paul Heckingbottom,
he actually did
emphasise.
in his last press conference. He said, "I thought we were good with ball, and I thought we were good without ball."
Yes.
I'd never heard him say that. I just heard Joe kind of joke about how he says, with the ball and without the ball. But he actually did do that in his presser, which I was amazed at.
But let's just emphasise, it is not Paul Heckingbottom. It is not Paul Heckingbottom. It is Slaviša Jokanovic. 2 promotions. Well, we think it's Slaviša Jokanovic.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
If I'm a Sheffield United fan, I'm very excited at the prospect of watching Jokanovic's teams play amazing football. We've seen it with Fulham and Watford. They score a lot of goals, a lot of possession, lovely to watch. And he tends to get promoted. Surely, Hal, there's got to be a bit of excitement there with Jokanovic.
The other side of Jokanovic is that he doesn't stick around for very long at any club, whether that's because he's pushed or because he leaves. And that worries me because I think we're used to your Dave Bassett's, your Neil Warnock's, your Chris Wilders. We are used to managers that stay for a long time. It's not the Sheffield United way, although my channel is. We are used to managers that stick around for a long time. So I don't know. If he's going to do the long-term project thing, the opposite of Sam Allardyce, then great, get on board. But if he is going to be a short-term, I kind of want to go for the long-term now. I think we need that.
Someone else who was in for the long term at the club was Alan Shearer. Hal, obviously you've done something with Alan Shearer recently. Tell us about that. Was better, wasn't it? That was a bit of better promotion for you, mate. Giving you a better assist there. Tell us about it.
Call it a segue in the biz.
Segue. That was a better segue though.
You know what a segue is, Oscar? It's one of those little scooter things.
Segment, whatever. I don't know. Segment. Oh, Hal, just get on with it.
It is a segue, but it's also one of the scooter things.
Hal, what are you doing with Alan Shearer before we lose the momentum?
Alan Shearer did a podcast with Alan Shearer. It's called Once Upon a Time on the Pitch. So wherever you get podcasts from, type in Once Upon a Time on the Pitch. You'll be able to hear an interview with Alan Shearer, but maybe more for Leeds fans. There's Vinnie Jones talking about his Leeds tattoo. There's Chris Kamara talking about Leeds. And there's also an interesting interview with Gary Lineker as well. Once Upon a Time on the Pitch. Please give it 5 of your stars.
Go for it, guys. Go for it. Let's get a prediction in for Sheffield United Burnley so we can move on. We've spoken a lot about such an awful game of football, probably, unfortunately.
I don't feel like we've spoken about it at all. All right.
Kind of had.
Lee said the better. Move on.
I'm going to go... All right, Hal, I'm going to back you. 1-0 Sheffield United. I think you'll raise your game in front of the crowds. I hope so anyway, mate. 1-0 Sheffield United. What are you going for, Corey?
1-0. Chris Wood to turn up again. But I think Sheffield United will get a goal. Hopefully it's the young lad as well. Give him a bit of confidence before he goes into the Championship.
Or Brewster. That'd be nice to see as well.
Last game, Brewster goal. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, Oscar. I'm going to go 1-0, but I do think Chris Wood, he'll pop up, he'll be a nuisance, he'll make a game. No, it's basically my Kevin Peterson. That's all I can do. But yes, I think he'll be in and amongst it. He'll be in the box, and he'll cause problems.
Oh, dear me. But a lovely donation there from Luke Williamson. What more can I say? Thank you very much, Luke. Save Hal on all these TV. But are you going to say, Hal, that you may be making some guest appearances next season? Are you happy to say that?
No. What I will say is...
I can't believe you're doing this to me. You've said the last couple of weeks, I'll make the odd guest appearance.
What I will say is on the last watch-along we did, I think all Leeds fans watching this will really enjoy. I've time-stamped it. There's a bit at the end of the Newcastle game where I tell a story about playing netball and an experience at the swimming pool, which I think everyone will enjoy. So if you want to check out the watch-along, I've time-stamped it. It's right at the end. It's nothing to do with football. I think you will laugh. Check it out.
Anyway, let's go into the next game. West Ham versus Southampton. Corey? Any kind of thoughts on this one?
We're all going on a European tour. We're so close, man. Honestly, this season's been crazy. And
just need a point, don't you?
Just need a point.
Surely do that.
Yeah, it's tough, Oscar, because obviously our form has dipped massively over the last couple of games. And at West Brom, You get the penalty, Declan Rice misses it first minute. I'm thinking, this is so West Ham, we're not going to do it. And then they get the goal from a corner and it's just nuts. But I think last 10 minutes against West Brom, we showed a bit of character. You know, we got a set piece and we got a transition and we were really good and Antonio gets his goal. I think we've got enough, to be honest, at home. 10,000 fans there should be enough to get us over the line. And I can't see Tottenham beating Leicester either, to be honest. So I think it's all in our favour. We've got lucky in terms of Villa getting that result and fingers crossed, 6th place. West Ham's 6th place in the Premier League, possibly. It's unbelievable. The lads have done absolutely, so proud of them. It's been an incredible season and get back in there next season to enjoy it. Mark Noble's last and hopefully we can give it a good go again. But we're all on course, Oscar. We're all on course.
I'm not sure what I need to... I'm not sure, Stephen, what I need to repeat. I've said...
Just say it all again, Oscar. Start the show again.
Everything. Say everything again.
Everything again.
No, better not. I better not. Most people won't even know I'm here. It's that kind of... Anyway, let's... let me go to you, Hal, because I'm sure you'd love nothing less than West Ham to just mess it up here at their last hurdle.
Yeah, I'd really like that. I was looking at like Leeds' points total and how many points Leeds can finish with. A lot of people have said Leeds will be the most successful team in the Premier League. You know, first promotion back in there, and of course Ipswich finished with 66 points, didn't they, back in 01-02?
Well, that was one of our presenters. Phil decided to basically mega popularise a stat that wasn't even true in terms of us being the best newly promoted team in Premier League history, because it isn't actually true. 3 teams have done it since.
Well, you will be, because those teams did it when it was called the Premiership.
Yeah, but...
So Leeds will technically be the Premier League. Actually, when Ipswich finished with 66, the team just above them on 68 was Leeds United. But of course, you weren't a newly promoted side. But it's interesting that I think that Leeds team from 01-02 is the team that contained the players that most of my friends would still consider their favourite Leeds players of all time. When you think of Nigel Martin, Robinson, Gary Kelly,
with
Ian
Nigel
Hart.
Martins,
your Nigel Martins, your Lucas Radibers, your Dewberrys, your Woodgates, your Bowyers, your Vidukas, your Smiths, your Bridges. Okay, right. I could carry on, but that's the Leeds team that a lot of people, I think, when they think Leeds United, they think of that 01-02 team, which was a brilliant team.
It was.
Anyway, that's all I want to say about West Ham.
Let's get some predictions on this one then. West Ham, Southampton. I'm going to start the ball rolling with a 2-1 West Ham win. I think you'll get there pretty comfortably in the end. Hal?
West Ham?
Yeah, West Ham, Southampton.
Well, I was going to say, who are they playing? I wasn't listening to any of that.
They get beat either way. Is the vibe I was getting.
4-0 Southampton.
I will... No, come along now, Corey. Let's be serious. West Ham 0, Southampton 5.
Corey?
I'm going to go 1-0 West Ham.
1-0.
Too much on the line. We'll get a horrible little 1-0 and that'll be enough for me.
Okay.
Well, before we go into the top 4 chat, because hopefully...
You're Danny Hayes, you're Jacob Burns. I'm just not thinking of fringe players. You're Shane Cansdell Sheriffs. Who else was there? There was a Richardson, wasn't there?
You're Fraser Richardson.
That's it. You're Fraser Richardsons. Brilliant.
You're Matthew Kilgallons.
You're Sean Always. I'm doing well here.
You are doing well. You are doing well, to be fair, man. You are doing really well. Well, listen, more love for Hal. I would see LAFC 1919. Hal, you better be back on All Leeds TV. You're going to be. You're going to come on as a guest from time to time. That's what you said, mate. Don't do me down now, man. You know you're going to do it.
Wes Boyle, did he play for Leeds?
Just complete deflect. Anyway, let's move on to the next game because I think Locks is joining us. I think, anyway, before we talk about the top 4. Leeds versus West Brom. Corey, I'll go to you first, mate.
Yeah, you're doing all right, aren't you? The minute you're scoring goals.
Doing all right, mate. Not too bad.
Tyler Roberts even managed to get a goal the other day, which was probably nice for him. Nah, you're looking solid, mate. Like, it's a good end to the season for you. West Brom aren't pushovers, though. I will say that. I know we made it hard for ourselves, but they nearly pushed Liverpool. They definitely pushed us. Is it Ellen Road, though? I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Ellen Road.
Goal fest. I reckon it'll be a goal fest. I reckon I know Bielsa's trying to give a bit of a farewell tour to some of your players, but I reckon 3-1 Leeds for me in this one.
Wes Boyle is a pretty unreal shout, that
I'm
Hal. And
so
not Leeds
pleased.
fan to know Wes Boyle is.
I thought some more as well.
Go on, throw them at us.
So someone else put it actually, but your Jamie McMasters, your Harples Sings, your Seth Johnsons, your Eric Backers, your Danny Milosevic's. I said Danny Hay, didn't I?
Your Steve Guppies.
Your Jason Wilcoxes.
Your Steve Stones.
Yes. I mean, God, they roll off the tongue when you start thinking about it.
These people are all about 40 when they play for Leeds, by the way.
I think Corey's just like, who? What? Are these names?
Let's move on. Leeds, West Brom. Al, any thoughts on Leeds, West Brom?
None at all.
Prediction then?
Okay, I think that this game will definitely go ahead. This one, how many fans are you allowing in?
8,000.
Oh, 8,000. All crammed into the Lurpak stand. Is that what it's called?
No.
The Lurpak stand?
I don't know.
It was, but
it was! Yes,
it was.
I know all the old stuff.
It's
like when I start...
Now the East Stand.
Right, you need a sponsor. I can't believe it's not the East Stand. Someone like that. Get the butter back in there. But I stopped getting interested in football in about 2006. So I do very well to maintain any kind of semblance of credibility on this channel because I really have no idea what's going on in football anymore. I'm going to say Leeds 3-0.
Okay. Corey?
Yeah, 3-1. Pereira gets a goal for West Brom. I'll definitely
Before
take
he
him.
Signs the contract for Leeds in the tunnel.
Baller. I'll tell you what, if we don't get Lingard, we've got to go all out for him because he's some player.
He's ours.
No, he's not.
He's ours.
2-1.
He's ours. You can have Lingard. He's ours. Well, anyway, I'm going to go 2-0 Leeds. I'm pretty confident on that one. Let's talk about the big thing this weekend, the top 4 race. Now, we spoke to Corey, Hal. How am I doing this? What is wrong with me today? I've said
before we started, right? Corey and I were waiting patiently, and Oscar said, "We can't start. We've got to wait for Corey."
Yeah, unbelievable. Look at the impression I've left. Virtually nothing. No, I didn't even know I was there.
38 weeks. 38 weeks. Corey's been there from the start, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
even worse.
He's the only one that's never missed an episode. It's how I imagine David O'Leary would have treated Alan Maybury. You know, he'd have ignored him in the dressing room. He'd have been sat there. But right, I'm going to name the bench. Okay, we've got your Jamie McMasters, your Harples Sings, your Jacob Burns, and then Alan's in the corner going, Gaffer. Who have I forgotten? Fraser Richardson. Who's out on loan? Okay, Wes Boyle. Oh, he's out on loan. We'll just go with a 3-man bench. Gaffer, I'm right here. Does anyone hear that? Right. Oh, let's go. Out we go. Good luck, lads. Oh, he's done it again. That's how I picture Alan Maybury's entire career under David O'Leary.
Anyway, we spoke to Locks last week, and he, basically, what has happened to Leicester is what we kind of said if they had a choice between winning the Cup, finishing top 4. It looks like he's going to win the Cup now, unless there's a big surprise at the weekend. Let's start with the first game then. The team in 3rd place, which is Chelsea, on 67 points. They still need to win to guarantee the top 4 finish. They're away to Aston Villa. It's a less than an ideal game, that though, isn't it, Hal? Villa just got Grealish back, just beating Tottenham, although everyone's beating Tottenham at the minute.
True.
Less than ideal.
Yeah, I mean, Leicester-Tottenham, that's going to be a fascinating game. Everything's kind of going to hinge on that. Villa-Chelsea. Villa, I think, will put up a proper show. This is going to go right down to the wire. There's nothing to play for anywhere else other than that battle at the top. It's usually the final game of the season where it's all about the relegation zone. But unfortunately, 3-2. Oscar, you've got to blink and you miss these when you bring them up on screen. Just for you. Oh,
all right. Hal? Love that. Legends, by the way.
We're getting a statue. We're getting a statue of them actually next season. So
isn't there already a statue? I remember.
I thought there was.
Yeah, I've been to West Ham a few times. There's one outside the ground, isn't there?
Well, there is at the old bowling ground, but there
That's
isn't
what I mean.
at the London Stadium.
Upton Park, Corey.
Yeah.
The bowling ground.
Who calls it the bowling
Listen,
ground?
I'll say what I like. I'm the West Ham fan. I call
That's it. That's the real Corey. Comes out there, the West Ham thug in him. I'll say what I like. All right, come in me, I'll cut you, bro. All right.
I've got to defend, but no, I think we're getting them back. I think we're getting them back over, whether they're picking them up or making a new one.
It was Hal's eye contact as he said it. He's very well trained in that.
It was a bit scary, to be honest. The eyebrows went up, and I was like,
the eyebrows went up. The eye contact was just spot on throughout.
These eyebrows, these eyebrows could talk. Ooh. They'd be like.
And in case you didn't know, last week,
put me on a better face.
Neil Warnock doesn't have any eyebrows, as Hal told us last week. Hal's facts of the week there. Guys, apologies. I get a lot of comments about my camera. It's let me down. Guys. So I'm literally just using my laptop camera. Apologies, guys, but at least you can hear me. I do apologise for that. But it might be better that you can't see me properly. It might be better. It probably is better, to be fair. Right, Villa Chelsea. Corey, how do you see that one going, mate? Bearing in mind, Villa took points at Stamford Bridge earlier in the season.
That's the thing, though. I watched that game and Villa actually played really well. Jack Grealish is the difference, isn't he? It's good to get him back fit because England are going to need him, and you'd hope that Villa can try and get a draw and make it difficult for Chelsea. I know they did turn up against Leicester, but I also felt Leicester were on a bit of a hangover from the FA Cup. So I wonder whether they fancied.
Hal was in Green Street.
He was. I actually saw him. He's an extra in the back. No,
you want some?
Yeah.
I thought that was my one line. I wasn't actually in it, but I was.
Well, that was all the words that were on green screen. Was pretty much it. Like, anyway,
I was just walking past. The director was like, "Get me that guy. That guy. He oozes East London dominance and danger. Get that guy. Just give me the one line." And so I just went, "You want some? Yeah, that's the guy. If we hadn't already cast Elijah Wood, you're the star."
This comment's done me in a little bit. The David Dickinson thing.
He's done, yeah.
He's done Dickinson. I've been done, David Dickinson. Oh, anyway. Give us a prediction then. Go on, Corey. Give us a prediction then. Villa, Chelsea.
I'm going to go 1-1. I hope Locks gets Champions League because he's somewhere crying. That's why he hasn't come on and he's panicking. So let's hopefully they get that draw. Yeah,
his Wi-Fi is bottling it almost as much as Leicester is what I'm hearing.
Brendan Rodgers in big games. That's what happens. I can't say that anymore. They won an FA Cup, so he did turn up.
Yeah, that's true. Hal, this one, what are you going for? Villa Chelsea at Villa Park.
I actually think Chelsea going to win it 2-1, but it's going to be Villa to take the lead. Ollie Watkins. And then Chelsea to come back. I actually think the boo boy, Timo Werner, will be the hero and score the winner.
Yeah, no, I think I probably fancy Chelsea in that game. I love nothing more, though, than Villa, Jack Grealish, last minute, just to take Chelsea out at the last minute of it and let Liverpool and Leicester to go in. Honestly,
Oscar,
that would make the season.
Why do Leeds hate Chelsea?
How long have you got?
Why not?
Okay.
How long have you got?
I'm just wondering.
You've got a choice of Liverpool, Leicester, Chelsea. How are you not picking Chelsea as a neutral to drop out of that?
I don't know, because of the way Locke spoke about it, I kind of want Leicester to drop out now.
Yeah, but they kind of have already.
Yeah,
he's had his shock. Yeah. You just want to see Locks miserable, is what I'm basically getting.
I think that Locks is completely discombobulated because all the games are on Sunday, so he thinks we're doing this tomorrow. That's why he's not here. And he's already hammered, drinking his goldfish bowl of wine.
He's in the fish bowl already.
Yeah. He's got the poems at the ready.
Have you seen how he drinks any vessel?
Just like that.
He drinks anything like that. If it's got a handle, anything, it's just straight down. The man's a mess. I think he sleeps in his car.
He's going to be fuming when he sees this. He's probably watching it now.
Watching this right now and thinking, he's trying everything with his Wi-Fi to get on and thinking, I'm not joining these guys.
He's watching this right now going, right, that's it, I'm getting out of the car and I am going to go on that channel. He's left his pillow.
But Locks, if you are watching, mate, do join us. We're not quite onto Leicester yet. Right, Liverpool Palace. Now this could potentially be a really, really interesting one because obviously Roy Hodgson, possibly Liverpool's worst manager of all time. We could possibly say
Graham Souness is going to fight Roy for that.
I think Roy
I feel
Souness.
sorry for Roy, man.
Graham Souness won the FA Cup though, I believe.
He lost to Bristol City, didn't he, at Anfield in a cup game?
I think Hodgson lost to Northampton, I think, or something like that.
Possibly.
Might have to check that. I will check that in a second. Actually.
That might be an Oscar fever dream. I'm not sure if that happened.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Northampton. It was something mad on penalties to loss, but I'm going to check that in a second.
You need to get me on Leeds United reserve players 0102. Liverpool Cup exits, not my bag.
Well, I might have remembered that. I think I'm sure it was Northampton. I do know people from Northampton. That's why I've not just randomly remembered that.
All right, get you with your friends.
All right, Hal.
Not your strongest comeback, that Oscar.
With your his name.
Well, that's it. I'm going to call you by your name. Let's see how you like them apples.
I wasn't trying to come back. It's just what's wrong with your own friends.
No, you're right. You weren't trying to come back. Pop in the comments.
I wasn't trying. What's wrong with your own friends? How was it an insult? How was that an insult?
Football friends. Put in the comments.
You didn't do that first time.
if Liverpool got knocked out by Northampton, and while you're putting
this,
one thing I just want to know is what's your favourite chocolate bar?
Is this a generic thing or is this to the comments?
Yeah, I was thinking about it in the gym earlier. I was just thinking like, what do I really
like?
What
a great thing to think about in the gym. Chocolate.
It's my reward afterwards. So
I'll tell you what's unreal, right? Cadbury with the Oreo in the middle, mate. That's different level. That's top tier. I'm struggling to find another one out there.
My language. Revels as well, the orange ones when you get.
Oh yeah, all right, fair enough.
The orange ones. If you could just get the orange ones,
just
fantastic.
Sack the coffee ones off.
Yeah, big time. Oscar.
Well, I'm going to show you now because I'm telling you now. Liverpool did lose to Northampton in 2010 in a penalty shootout. 4-2 at home under Roy Hodgson.
Good knowledge.
So there you go.
Good knowledge. Your Northampton friends, they were not lying to you when they told you about that. Some great shouts, by the way. Bounty. I love a Bounty. Bounty for me is top tier. A lot of people have a go at a Bounty. If you like a Bounty, you know your chocolate. Dark Bounty as well. And Whisper Gold.
Whisper. It's got to be Whisper.
Do you know how much they're charging at my work for a Whisper from the machine?
How much?
£1.50.
That's a joke.
What?
It's a joke.
That's not inflation. That's just greed.
It is just
not having that.
What goes a backup? Bounty's a decent backup, you know.
Do you know, I did when I was a kid, I did an advert for Smarties because I'm from York and they got the Nestle Rowntree's factory. So I ended up doing a Smarties advert when I was a kid, and I got like I told you this before because I was too young to get paid.
Is this when you were 5'4"?
I was the same height all my life. I was a horrific birth for my mother. I was given the choice. Because I was too young to get paid.
I could just not imagine Hal as a kid.
Don't imagine my mother giving birth to me, Oscar. No, stop that.
I wasn't doing that. I couldn't imagine you as a kid, like at 10. I just could not imagine you at 10, just like
exactly the
being
same.
Immature. I just imagine you glasses, beard.
I didn't have glasses. These are new. I've very rarely worn glasses. But anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, I got the choice of getting paid in chocolate because they couldn't pay us money because I was so little. And they said, what do you want? Do you want Smarties or do you want something else? And I said that I wanted Milky Bars. So they gave me what they called a lifetime supply, but it's actually just 360. It was actually a year's worth of Milky Bars. And because I was like 8, I didn't have one a day. I ate like all of them in a weekend. And so now I cannot even look at white chocolate without being sick. I have ruined my palate from white chocolate forever. Even thinking about it now is making me feel slightly queasy. I destroyed my white chocolate taste buds and I cannot stand Milky Bars. And I was called at school after that for 2 years, the Milky Bar Kid. It's tough times. I also apparently used to like Banana Man, so that was tough as well.
Anyway, that's that. I know it's get you for your birthday now, Hal. Anyway,
please don't.
I might. But anyway, Liverpool Palace. Roy Hodgson could come back in his final game of football management just to annoy Liverpool fans even more by picking up a point there or a result at Liverpool. I mean, could you see it happening, Hal?
Yeah.
Any reason why?
Well, just anything
I mean,
can happen.
it's not like the first time you've ever done this. Like we
anything can happen.
One-word answers.
Palace for Roy's last game, they could pull off a shock. They've still got some quality players. It's not inconceivable that they could go to Anfield and get a win. If they do, it'll be a 1-0. They'll just nick it. But with Alisson, you never know. He could get a late goal and equalise. He's that danger man up top.
Corey?
Yeah, I agree. Football's a game of two halves, so you never know quite what's going to happen.
Is everyone just going to do cliches?
No,
They're just going to give reasons, proper reasons.
No, honestly, I think I can't see Palace upsetting Liverpool at all. They've come into some great form. They're looking decent. Their press is back. Their energy's back. Thiago's looking good as well. Fabinho in the midfield. I think they'll do it. I think it'll be quite comfortable as well. I'm going to go 2-0 Liverpool. No shocks.
Okay.
Did you read that, Corey? It's just like...
Yeah, what's that? Mitchell looks phenomenal for Palace.
Oh, Mitchell does look phenomenal. The fullback. Yes, I can't say his first name. Tyrick?
Sorry, Mitchell.
I can say his first name. No, I did. I got it.
No
I really
hesitation.
struggled.
You just got it.
I struggled in the watch along with Alan St. Maxim. Is that how you say it?
No,
Alan
I can't do
Saint-Maximin.
that. This is like Guardiola all over again.
Yeah,
Can't do
Guardiola.
Guardiola.
I've always said Joe Ellington, so that's how I say it. And that's how I'm always going to say it. I say Giovanni Lo Celso, so that's how I'm going to say it.
Not Joel Linton.
I don't say Joe Ellington, I say Joe Ellington.
Joe Ellington.
Yeah.
Ellington.
Yeah, I'm not saying
From
Nathan
Brazil,
Ellington.
not Wigan.
Yeah, and because he's
Joe
from
Ellington.
Brazil, Oscar, I asked some Brazilian friends of mine how you say his name, and they said in Brazil you pronounce that the stress is on the middle of the word. So actually, the correct pronunciation is Joe Ellington.
So that never happened. Anyway, that is a bit of a I don't think that did that actually happen though, Hal.
Yes, I did check how you say it with
Corey. Do you think that actually happened? You actually asked his Brazilian friends. The first footballer you think of to ask Brazilian fans about is Joe Ellington.
Joe Ellington.
Joe Ellington.
That's it right.
There's no way they said to pronounce it Joe Ellington.
If there's anyone Brazilian or anyone who's had a Brazilian watching right now, tell us. It is pronounced, isn't it? Joe Ellington, and Giovanni Lo Celso is the South American correct pronunciation in Argentina. I
can imagine that one. I can see that one. Lo Celso. But Joe Ellington.
Joe Ellington. It's a real stress on the middle.
Anyway, I don't know how. Joe Ellington doesn't even play.
We need
for
to find a
teams.
happy medium, Oscar. That comment from Joe's been on too long, but in the past they're on too quick. There's got to be some happy medium. We just got to find somewhere. I thought Joe Ellington was Welsh when I first heard his name.
Oh, do you know what? You've done it. You've done it to me, Hal. All I can hear is Joe Ellington now.
It's Joe Ellington.
No, you've ruined it.
Ellington. It is Joe Ellington.
Joe Ellington.
When I eventually get him on my
Ellington.
podcast, I'll ask him how you say his name, and he'll say, "It's Joe Ellington."
What podcast would that be? Hal?
Once upon a time on the pitch. Thank you, Oscar. Another assist. You've got two in the. No, you've got three in the bag. That's a hat trick of assists.
Hat trick before 45 minutes.
And I'm just tapping them in. Far post. Boom.
Like De Bruyne to Kane next season.
Or even De Bruyne.
Had to ruin it. You just had to get that in there. Didn't you?
We're talking pronunciations. Let's keep it going.
Isn't it De Bruyne anyway, technically?
I don't actually. I thought it was De Bruyne as well. Put in the comments, is it De Bruyne or De Bruyne? Just write it down. Just
call him KDB.
KDB.
All the pronunciation.
KDB into HK next season. There you go. No arguments now. Well, yeah, okay. Let's get a prediction in for Liverpool Palace before we actually talk about that situation. Corey's gone 2-0 Liverpool. Hal?
1-0 Palace. Remember it if I get it right.
Okay. I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool. I think they might make it a little bit more tense. But yeah. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about Tottenham because we're going to go on to Leicester-Tottenham. Looks like Locks isn't joining us. So we'll go on to Leicester-Tottenham. Situation at Tottenham. Harry Kane It's
We're just going to leave that comment on, Oscar.
Yeah, but all the other comments are having a go at me. All the other comments are having a go at me.
You bring them all on. Bring them all on. It's a tapestry. It's a mixed bag. It's all about opinions. Is it? Yes. See,
Joe's back up again.
Joe's again. Let's just
get a lot of coverage tonight. He's a member.
Don't you start, Corey. I've got enough of this with Hal.
It's infectious. It's infectious.
Like Joe Ellington. I'm not saying the man is infectious. I'm sure he's fine. But
I'm gonna have to flash up another Joe comment now because that's what I'm going to talk about.
Don't flash anything, Oscar. Joe's getting more screen time than Locks.
Yeah,
what happened to the Spurs? What was her name? What was her name again?
Something about Mourinho, wasn't it?
That one. That one was too quick. I can't read these. I'm old,
trying to
Oscar.
go through them all. Hal.
What? Just read them in your own time. But bring them up and leave them for a sensible amount of time. Also, I've had to mute the WhatsApp group we're in. I tell you, the amount of stuff that Spurs lass just keeps putting on, whatever her name is, it's constant.
Hal, you don't have to say Elena. There's no reason.
I know what her name is. She's brilliant.
Why are you saying it like that?
I'm playing the game that guy just said.
Just relax and play the game.
Just play the game, Oscar.
Oh, dear me. Right. Anyway.
We obviously know her name.
Right. Tottenham. Harry Kane has spent the last week basically just trying to get himself as far away from Tottenham as possible. I mean, he's gone on a golf course to chat with Gary Neville. He's gone on a podcast. I've got to say, I think Harry Kane comes across quite bad in some of this. The way he's, I'm looking at this as from a point of view from England next summer. I'm thinking this summer even. I think to myself, this is England's captain, and he's spending like the last week. Okay, fair enough. I think everyone can accept he's handed in a transfer request. I think he should have done it a couple of years ago, to be honest. I think he's been very loyal to the club. But it just doesn't sit right with me. Some of the stuff he said, in terms of talking about KDB or De Bruyne, whatever one you pronounce him as, De Bruyne, whatever.
None
KDB.
of those were correct.
What actually is it?
Kevin De Bruyne.
Kevin De Bruyne, then.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Right.
De Bruyne.
De Bruyne. De
Bruyne. Right.
It's a soft B.
Right.
But it's a hard N.
Tell you what, Al, you really have... What are you even going on about? Anyway, I want
to hear you say "son human" again.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't want to say this.
I called him human son all the way through a Tottenham watch along because of you, Oscar. It was a dedication to you.
Good man. God, I'm just going to flash up Joe's comment again. De Bruyne. Right, so good fun. What do you think to it, though, Corey, in terms of what Kane said? If you're a Tottenham fan, look, you're going to respect what Kane's done for the club. You appreciate he wants to leave, but I don't know, I think he's going about it quite a bit over the top in terms of how he's trying to leave the club, considering the season's not even finished yet. They've still got to play another game.
Yeah, I didn't really take it like that. I know you're saying that. I don't know whether these podcasts. I can understand these podcasts were recorded a little bit before when it's actually been made public and he's just sort of speaking about it. I do find it strange though that he is very non-committal on his loyalty to Spurs. Like he is saying, "I never say that I would stay at Spurs," and yet you signed a 6-year deal. So there is a confusion there. I actually think Kane's in an advantageous position where even if he leaves to a Manchester club, it's not going to hurt his legacy at Tottenham, his legacy of winning no trophies and failing every single final. But they still reward him as a hero.
Yes, I love that.
But it's true. And I think as well as a football fan, he does deserve the move. And I wonder that dynamic he's talking about with him and Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy, you do not get out of Tottenham as one of their star players without rewarding or getting a massive price tag from you. And 150 mil, I think he's actually got to force the issue.
What did you think to that quote as well? The 100, I won't be worth 100 million in 2 or 3 years. I thought that was a bit naughty.
Yeah, that is a bit naughty. I didn't really hear that part, so I think
that was on the Gary Neville bit. He kind of just slips it in. I thought I respect Kane. Look, I can imagine playing for Daniel Levy. You've got to probably go with those kind of tactics. Bale did a similar thing when he went to Madrid, I remember. A couple of other players, I think Modric did a similar thing to go to Madrid. Levy is not going to be an easy person. He's not going to be the kind of owner you can go to and say, I want to leave the club. And he'll let you go. I can't see that. I think you've got to be a little bit more aggressive. But I think the way Kane's gone about it is maybe a bit...
But with respect, do you think he... I personally think he doesn't owe them anything anymore. Like,
I don't understand that. But do you not think there's a way to go and there was a way not to go?
He should have stayed at Leicester, shouldn't he? When he was on loan at Leicester, he'd have won a trophy.
At Norwich. He would have won 3 trophies at Norwich by now.
Yes.
There is a way, but I don't know. I didn't see it as too disrespectful. I haven't seen too many Tottenham fans come out and be absolutely fuming by it. They seem to be more worried about their ownership than him himself. So,
Son Hyun fuming. I'd say there's going to get to a stage where no one can afford. There's like only maybe 2 or 3 clubs that can afford certain players. The amount of money that Spurs are going to want for Kane, realistically, there's probably only maximum 5 clubs on the planet that could afford him. And I think in the future, these numbers are going to go higher and higher and exponentially higher unless we have a cap, which I think, by the way, we should have. And it's going to get silly. And less big-name players are going to move in future.
Well, there was even talk I've seen today in terms of Chelsea looking at him and trying to do a swap deal with 2 players plus
Timmy Abraham. Did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a...
Well, Timmy Abraham plays for Fulham.
Tammy Abraham.
Yeah, so the original tweet said Timmy Abraham, so it was a misspelling. So that went viral because people were like, he's on loan at Wraith Rovers and plays for Fulham. But Tammy Abraham was obviously who they meant. And I think that would be, harsh on Tammy Abraham to be part of a swap deal and money because he's a great striker in his own right. In the Championship, he was like a cheat code. Any team that had him in the Champ just scored loads of goals. He was fantastic.
But he's still Chelsea's top scorer this season. He's not played since Tuchel took the job. I mean, if I'm Tottenham, though, I'm looking at a deal like that. I personally think PSG, I think in terms of the Poch factor, the fact they've got Neymar and Mbappe, just to complement them, I think probably get a Kane in. I personally see it being Icardi plus 50 or 60 mil to Tottenham.
I can't see Icardi going to Tottenham. I don't
think he'll have a choice.
Brings his wife with him as well, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he's a shady character, isn't he?
He is, but I don't know. I can imagine him looking at it and thinking, he knows he'll play week in, week out at Tottenham. He doesn't have that at PSG at the moment.
True. I think one player they should go for, and there's been a bit of debate, is like a Calvert-Lewin. I think a Calvert-Lewin, he's young, he gets goals in the Premier League, he's got time to grow and develop. Tottenham fans turn their nose up at him, but I don't think that's that bad. I honestly think Tottenham fans have just got to have a little
that's a best case scenario. It's a Calvert-Lewin or Abraham, to be honest.
Yeah. Why are we saying a Calvert-Lewin? Do you mean Calvert-Lewin?
Yeah, a Calvert-Lewin.
Okay. Your Calvert-Lewins.
Your Calvert-Lewins. Your Timmy Abrahams.
Your Lukakus.
Your human fuming sons. I think...
Well, talk about Son then, Hal. I mean...
Okay.
I'm not even going to bite. Son, HM. We'll call him HM
Nicholas
Son.
That comment's been on too long as well, Oscar.
Okay, all right, Hal. Thank you very much. Cheers for that, Hal.
Those were too quick. I couldn't read either of them. Corey, did you get them? They were just a blink.
No, can I just see them again, please?
They were just a flash, weren't they? It's all or nothing with Oscar.
This channel, mate. You don't expect it.
Oscar, is this how you make love?
What? Just... I'm not going to explain what you're going to say then. Like this. One extreme to the other. Is that what you're trying to say I am, Hal? I'm
saying there are certain times when you got a lot of Oscar to play with, and there's other times where it's, and then I'm not tonight. This is my darts arm.
It depends. Oh, how do you do it? How do you make the situations awkward like this?
My friend Adam said the other day, you live in an awkward world. And I thought that's so true. I create awkwardness around me. I love it. I thrive off it. I create awkward situations in the petrol station.
You're a peep show character. That's what I think you are. You're a peep show character. Like, everything's awkward. Mark from the peep show.
So I'm just Mark. I was going to say, I'm not Jeremy, am I?
There's a little bit of Jeremy in there.
He did all right in that show. I seem to recall. Mark was a bit of a... He's the one that wasn't very successful with women.
Mark also had the book, Business Secrets of the Pharaohs.
Yes. 19 copies left at DJ Hal Stewart. If you want a copy of All Hollow, that is 4 assists for Oscar. If you are keeping count, he is like a human son.
I'm getting no thanks for it because I'm getting absolutely teared to pieces every single time you open my mouth by Hal. I've provided them about 4 assists now.
Yeah,
But
but like
thanks.
we're like Cole and Sheringham. You know, we don't need to get off the pitch, but on the pitch, it all comes together.
You said that way too convincingly. We don't get on off the pitch. You had to emphasise that, didn't you?
No, I said we don't need to. We do, but if we didn't, it would be fine, is what I'm saying. Off the pitch, anyway. Oscar and I are very, very close.
Right, Hal.
Right, fine.
Will Son go as well?
Oh,
do you think?
You know, they get on so well, like you and I, Oscar. It would be a shame if Kane was without Son and Son was without Kane. It's a beautiful partnership, and they've really combined well. I personally think it'd be great for the Premier League if they both stayed at Tottenham, but because the great thing about that is we get to see two fantastic players setting each other up regularly, but there's no fear that Tottenham are going to win anything, so they can just carry on doing this, and then no problem to anyone else. Tottenham are just kind of bob along without telling anyone in the Premier League. They're never going to win the league. They're never going to win a cup, and they're never going to go down. So they're just there, and that's fine. It's like Super Hans and Mark had a baby. Fantastic. Joe's getting a lot of airtime tonight. Get him on the show.
Super Hal. Super Hal. Oh, anyway. I mean, for me though, Corey, I think players like Kane and Son, I think eventually you want to see them win trophies at the end of the day. The world-class footballers.
They deserve it. They deserve to leave that club. You know, and
Son is so likable though. Like on that documentary, he's so.
I hate him. I can't stand him.
He's crying. You hate Son?
Oh, mate, he's horrible. Didn't he break?
He made a whole meme himself and says a cheers. Son's crying.
Honestly, the crying, and then he pretends he's a nice guy, and then he breaks someone's leg. He broke Andre Gomez's leg.
Oh,
and then
he broke Andre Gomez's leg.
No, I've seen
that was an
ridiculous
accident.
now. See, this is the West Ham bias coming in.
Watch your back. Guarantee you.
He steps on people.
Watch your back.
He's no better. He's no better. At least he just doesn't cry though after he's done it, backing into people.
Oscar, we've seen the real Corey tonight.
I just don't like Son.
You better watch your back.
How can you not like Son?
Because I think it's a bit of a myth that he's this nice guy and everyone, look, he's having a laugh. He's just a bit like...
He is.
No, he's not.
On what basis? I've not seen
on the
any
pitch.
basis.
On the pitch, he does nasty little things. He'll pretend he didn't mean to make a tackle, then he'll kick out, or he'll go and step on someone. I honestly,
I've literally never seen this.
No, I'm not having this. I'm gonna have to go and pull up some clips or something because I'm not.
We all like him. He seems lovely.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
They're a lovely lot. The South Koreans.
Oh,
look
just in time.
Who's turned up?
I was just reading away and just popped in. How are y'all doing?
Excellent. What happened to your hair? Like all of it?
Hey?
Nothing. I see that you're reading All Hollow, Joe. That's an excellent choice of book there.
Any good?
Yeah, it's brilliant, yeah. I even got a little personalised message.
Oh!
Yeah, Corey and Oscar, whenever you want.
Yeah, I'll DM you after this time. I hate West Ham in it. That's what I want.
Yeah, and I like Human Son.
Yeah, Human Son.
That's better.
Can you hear me now?
I can, yeah. Sorry,
my mic is really low. I'm on the bus.
Yeah, brilliant. How are you all doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
It's after 9 o'clock though, Joe. So
the camera's bottled it like Locks has tonight, so that's why I'm a little bit dark. But
what is it with Locks? I had to tell him and Elena the other day in the group chat. You are everything wrong with modern football. I'm now too loud. Sorry, I'll turn it down.
Yeah, it's been like the way that Oscar looks is kind of how the show's gone. Because Corey, it has been very dark. He showed us his real East.
I just don't like Son.
Don't like him. Joe, is Son one of the most likable players for a neutral fan in the league for you?
Yeah, definitely. He's never stopped smiling.
Corey says he's nasty.
He's pulled you in. He's pulled you all in. Now you think he smiles, and then you think he's a great guy. I'm not having it. He's done it to everyone. He's conned you lot. They get the documentary out. It's all propaganda. Everyone thinks he's lovely. He's not. Hate him. Can't stand him. It's not because he's just Tottenham. It's just everything about him. Great player. World-class player on his day, but not having it.
Have you seen that picture where it says Hyungmin son, Hyungmin dad, Hyungmin mum?
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. There's a picture of him.
I think that's
it was how serious. You see the picture of his dad, and his dad's just frowning on the picture. It's how serious his dad is, kind of thing. But anyway, we talk about great players. Corey, we're going to keep pushing you on Son. I mean, can he cause a shock with Kane against Leicester?
Definitely, but I do think, like you were talking about Kane's attitude, like they've pulled up clips on social media of him saying, like, what's the point?
I got a second, Corey. You were defending Kane at the start. You were
I'm not
defending Kane at the start.
him. I'm not
His
defending him.
attitude.
Joe's gone.
Joe's gone.
I was going to get him to take control of the comments because Oscar can't do it, and now he's gone.
Again, another dig at me there, Cal. He's trying to say I'm not good enough. Anyway,
maybe I'm just a massive hypocrite. Like I've just put myself in it. I don't know.
I'm getting that impression.
I just feel that he's. Look, I don't know if his head's definitely not there, is it? All I'm saying is I don't believe it's unfair. He's done his time at Tottenham. He's given the club everything. He's gone through multiple injuries. He's been there longer than he needed to be. And to be honest, I'm not saying go and down tools and don't bother. I still think Kane will try. But I just think it's coming to the end of a cycle at Tottenham anyway. They had the Poch years and they had a brilliant squad and a brilliant manager. They didn't win anything. And now it's falling apart a little bit. So I can kind of get it. But if they turn up, obviously, they're one of the best partnerships in the league. They've got one of the best assist goal records there. They're fantastic to watch. So maybe, but it's pressure on Brendan Rodgers. I do think Leicester will turn up in this one, like they did in the FA Cup final when they beat Chelsea.
Prediction then?
Going to go 2-1 Leicester.
2-1 Leicester. So you've gone Chelsea win, Liverpool win, so Leicester to just about miss out for you. Okay. Hal, you've done the same. Chelsea and Liverpool to win anyway, so you think Leicester do miss out. But do you think they win this game at least?
No, I think this one finishes in a really frustrating draw with Leicester.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. Sorry, I just had to instruct you there because I was having doubts about myself then. But
never doubt yourself, Oscar. A lion does not concern itself with the opinions of sheep.
Or the opinions of Hal Stewart.
Yeah, you shouldn't care what I think. In my entire life, I care about the opinion of about 3 people, which is why I get quite a lot
Chris Wilder one of them?
Yes, I get quite a lot of grief on Twitter.
Is Neil Warnock one of them?
Yes, him and his
Is Michael Brown another one of them?
Oh, Lord Michael Brown, yes, he's the other, yes.
There you go.
You nailed the 3. But what I would say is I get quite a lot of grief on Twitter. And if it's ever not grammatically correct, I do not even acknowledge it. It's got to be grammatically correct. I don't mind grief. I welcome grief, but it's got to be grammatically correct.
If you're going to insult me, make sure you use a comma and full stop.
And I will respect you. Yes. So
I will respect you.
Leicester draw this game.
Okay. I'm going to back Leicester. I think I just don't think that team looks right. I think the way they played against Villa, saw a bit in the first half, and they're just unbelievably bad. I think that Leicester actually win this one quite comfortably, 3-0, and put a bit of the pressure on Chelsea and Liverpool by winning their game the most comfortably. I just look at Tottenham at the minute, and who do you see even getting that job, Corey? I mean, there's been talk of Graham Potter, Simone Inzaghi from Lazio as being the actual bookmaker's favourite now.
His name's not Simone, he's a man. Simeone. It's not called Simone. He's not a hairdresser. He's not around TT.
All right, Hal.
Simone.
I don't know what his name is. You make me sound like Paul Merson on this, Sal. You make me sound like
there's Diego Simeone and there's Simone Inzaghi, but it's not Simone. I know that.
Anyway, Corey, who do you think gets the job?
He's called me out here. I think Graham Potter. I'm going to go.
It is Simone Inzaghi, by the way, Hal.
Not pronounced
Simeone, isn't it?
I can assure you it's not going to be pronounced Simeone. Because
Diego. I said there's Diego Simeone.
But it's spelled differently.
Yes, I know. I'm just saying it's a completely different person. I was trying to explain the difference between Simone Inzaghi and Diego Simeone. And then Simone is a Audi TT driving hairdresser. That's the 3 that I was throwing in there.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think Graham Potter is. I think he's going to be Tottenham's new manager.
Stick with Graham Potter. We can all say that.
Yeah, relatively easy. I actually think, they're going to be turning their nose up. Don't get me wrong. I think a lot of Tottenham fans, they want Allegri, which is absolutely laughable. It is it's just ridiculous. So
more chance we go to Sheffield United.
Yeah, exactly. Club on the up.
Also, 14 Yorks. Pippo Inzaghi is Simone Inzaghi's brother, his older brother. So they're different people. Just to make that clear.
just like Diego Simeone. And
You know, Sir Alex Ferguson said Pippo Inzaghi was born in the offside position, which I thought was very funny.
I mean, he did score a couple of Champions League finals and play in the World Cup.
Oh, he's brilliant. Pippo Inzaghi's my kind of player because we have the exact same size wrists.
That's so. That was incredibly Alan Partridge. I'm just going to say.
It's something I like. You know, I relate to players when I was a kid that had similar physical attributes to me, and I basically am Pippo Inzaghi in a lot of ways. Not very good at football, but if you want someone with thin wrists up front, this guy.
It's a lovely anecdote.
I'm just worried that how you knew you had the same size wrists.
Yeah, how's he figured that one out?
I'm worried how you figured that out, how you went about calculating that.
They just look the same. Maybe not exactly the same. The point is I have very, very thin wrists. Oriental ladies' wrists and Simeone Inzaghi and Pippo Inzaghi have the same.
Okay. I don't even know where to go with that. Before we finish, guys, let's have a Premier League, a little bit of a chat, general chat. Player of the season.
What have we been doing? Do you remember we used to do a quiz? I like those days.
I like the quiz.
I liked the quiz. I liked it when Danny did the quiz.
You hated it when Danny did the quiz.
You kind of stopped Danny doing the quiz.
That was it after you came on.
Yeah, he quit the whole channel, didn't he? And ended up
Plan A, Plan B. It just didn't really help.
It was home and away, wasn't it? He said you can have home questions or away questions.
Yeah.
To me, it implied home questions were home as in my club and away would not be my club. In reality, that made no difference at all what you chose.
Well, let's talk about player of the season. A couple of mentions about Stuart Dallas. Ruben Diaz has got the Football Writers Award. We're not sure who's got the PFA award yet. Who would you say, Corey? Because I'm thinking Diaz, Gundogan, Kane has got to be in for a shout. You know, there's a couple of names in there. Who would you be looking at?
I think Diaz always gets the nod because of how poor City were defensively, but it does go under the radar how they've slightly changed the way that they're playing. I think he's the outlier. There's a few.
My excuse with Diaz is he been that much better than John Stones in terms of that much better though in terms of like to be considered a player of the season? If that makes sense.
I think they just look at it. He has, for me, he's transformed that Man City defence in terms of his leadership. Like there was a massive hole there when obviously Vincent Kompany went out and they tried to plug the gap. He's the guy. You forget he's 24. So I mean, and some of the Champions League,
he is the best centre back in the world at the minute with Van Dijk injured. I'd probably go as far to say that.
He's a weird one, isn't he? Because he's kind of like a bit of a throwback in terms of a centre back, but he can also play on the ball as well. I think you've got to give it to him. But I do think Harry Kane is particularly unlucky because of obviously the side that he's playing in, and they didn't get the top four or compete for the title. So it's tough for him, but he should be up there. Him and Son should definitely be considered. Fernandes will probably get a bit of a shout in there as well. You know, minus his penalty goals. I'm not sure. I think he's the same as Thomas Souček, so maybe Souček should be involved as well. Put some West Ham players in there. Go on, you got to do it.
We'll go on to West Ham in a second. Hal. So who are you saying player of the season there, Corey, after all that?
Let's go Diaz.
Diaz, okay. Hal?
Oh, Rafinha. Easy.
Really?
He's good, isn't he?
I'll take that, mate.
My final appearance, I've got to get a Rafinha as good, isn't he?
Love that. But it's not your final. Well, okay, well, we won't go back into that. We won't go back into that ground anyway. I'm going to give a shout for Gundogan, to be fair. I'm going to say Gundogan because it's the goals from midfield at crucial times in the season. In terms of when City was struggling for goals, he was the man who was stepped up for him in those big occasions. Jesus was misfiring. Sterling was. Mahrez had a bit of an inconsistent start to the season. Then obviously Phil Foden emerged. I'm going to say it's between Gundogan and Diaz for me. I don't think you can go for anyone outside that City team because of how good City have been compared to everyone else. But I'll say just about Gundogan. Young player of the season? I think it's between Foden and Mount for me. I mean, is Grealish young enough to be a young player of the season?
He's 25, mate, isn't he now?
Old, isn't he? How old are you, Corey?
25. Getting on a bit. No, I think Foden's undeniably talented, but I do like Mason Mount. Like, I do actually really rate him, and I think Foden might get it because I think he's definitely contributing more goals wise, and he's looking better and better every time I see him. But I definitely think Mount should get a shout or some praise because a lot of people, me included, sort of thought he was Lampard's boy, and he was, but he's unbelievably talented as well. And if he does start for England, he deserves it as well. Stewie D. Everyone's going for Stuart Dallas. He's a player. He's a player, though, by the way. When he hit that volley the other day, I thought, I'll tell you what, that goes in.
What a save.
Yeah.
Broke me out, Alex McCarthy saving that. So, who'd you go for in the end, man? Mount?
Yeah, I'm going to go Mount.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to go Mount as well because he's played a lot more games than Foden. It's hard, though, because I think Foden's the better player. He's the one that's really caught the eye because of how he stood up for City in big moments. But I think Mount, because he's just been there week in, week out, and he has massively improved this season. I mean, Hal, who are you saying?
Foden is the best. Saka's been good at Arsenal.
That's a shout.
Aaron Ramsdale has been really good for Sheffield United. He's still really young. That's worth remembering. Because he's conceded so many goals, people will look at that as a goalkeeper, and he's going to have 2 relegations in succession on his CV. But it's definitely not his fault. It's all the crap in front of him that he's had for 2 seasons. He's a great goalkeeper.
Okay. Let's talk about, just before we sign off, player of the season for your clubs. For us, it's got to be Stuart Dallas. I think Rafinha is definitely a shout. Calvin Phillips is a shout. A lot of the players are a shout, but Stuart Dallas is just being unbelievable in a completely new role for him this season. Mellier's a shout as well off Jordan Dix there. Corey, for you guys, there's obviously a lot of contenders.
Yeah, it's really tough, to be honest, mate.
It's got to be. He's transformed.
Yeah, but has
Dawson,
he played it?
Craig Dawson.
No.
It's probably going to be Souček, isn't it?
Right.
It's
Kufal?
tough. Yeah, all right, lads, settle down. Look, we've got so many. I think
your Bowens, your Antonios,
your Ben
Lingard.
your Ben Ramas.
They've all turned up this year. Don't get me wrong. I think Vladimir Soufal goes massively under the radar as a decent right back, and we had so many nightmares in that position. I know Souček's got his 10 goals.
Soufal was in Carragher and Neville's team there, wasn't he? At right back, or was he? He was in one of them, I think.
Yeah, he was in Carragher's. He's like Souček for me is. I kind of
you never replaced Steve Potts. That was the problem.
Yeah, wish I could actually remember him playing.
Look him up later, Corey.
Yeah. Look, I think Souček, people merged that first time he came into West Ham, so they almost have it as an 18 months. For me, Soufal, right back, was a horrific position, and he puts in a 7 out of 10 every single week. He's been absolutely unbelievable. So he won't get the shout because he doesn't get the goals, but I think he's got to be it for me. If Mickey had stayed fit, I think he would have done it as well. He scored some really important goals this year. Declan, obviously, but Declan never really gets any praise. Just slowly under the radar, but we like it that way.
Okay. You George McCartney's.
Player, underrated.
I think you might have one view of George McCartney. I have a completely different view of George McCartney at Leeds.
We love him, mate. We love him, honestly.
Wish I could say that myself, but he wasn't great for Leeds. Hal, have you had to push you for player of the season for Sheffield United? I've
voted online, as you do with our club. I voted for Aaron Ramsdale. The only other contender is David McGoldrick. He's our top goal scorer, and Didsy always plays really well. But yeah, there's been no one in the worst season in my entire life, and I can't wait until it is over.
You're going up next season, mate. Jokanovic, inevitable under Jokanovic. You're giving that budget. You give him, keep most of your players there. You're going back up, mate. Let's hope so. Mate.
Yeah, I am Mr. Positive.
Well, guys, I think we'll leave it there anyway. Before we sign off, I just remind you of our fantastic sponsors, Football Prizes. First prize on offer. What a man. Pablo Hernandez. His final game for Leeds United is coming up on Sunday. £3.95 ticket, 99 tickets available. Check it out, guys. 26th of May, that one closes. Check it out. Stewie D. My player of the season, Joe's player of the season, everyone's player of the season. He's going to be our player of the season.
Not mine.
No, not mine either.
Okay. Thanks for doing that right in the middle of while talking about trying to get people to buy tickets for a Stuart Dallas shirt.
Buy them,
that guys.
Top player.
Great top player. Thank you. $4.95 a ticket, 99 tickets available. Competition ends this coming Wednesday. Same as the Pablo Hernandez one. Check it out, guys. Our fantastic sponsors through the season, football prizes. Check them out.
Oscar, I have a question. That song that Leeds fans used to sing, the Pablo Hernandez and Kiko Casilla one, right? Because Kiko Casilla is now, what happened with that song? Because I liked that. It was really good.
Last I heard was we're trying to fit Llorente into it.
Nice.
Diego Llorente, he plays for United.
Doesn't scan quite as well.
It's hard. It's hard to put. It's a work in progress, mate. It's a work in progress. We're looking at a couple of signings. I think the key thing is, I think Matias Pereira could fit into that song essentially, but Pablo Hernandez will be gone. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge. It might be the retirement of that fantastic song, but
it's a shame that fans retire songs when players leave, because in a way it would be the ultimate honour to a great player to keep singing about them.
Oh, we will. Don't get me wrong. We'll keep singing. We still sing about Lucas Radebe.
Yeah, love Radebe. But I think Pablo Hernandez, what a servant.
Amazing, mate. Amazing. In terms of influence, I don't think anyone compares in my lifetime at the club in terms of how far he's dragged us through the leagues.
Alan Maybury. I'm just going to drop that name in there.
Yeah. Anyway. I mean, look, words cannot express my love for Pablo.
Look, words. You know, you'll find a lot of words in my book, all hollow.
Hal, as this is technically your last appearance, but you're going to make a couple of guest appearances next season to discuss about Chelsea. You want Chelsea talk, mate? The championship.
You come to me. Look at the shirts in the background. That says one thing and one thing only. Stamford Bridge. Up the Lions. Okay. Whatever they're called.
The Lions.
They've got a lion on their badge, haven't they?
Proper Chelsea.
It's like the complete opposite. It's Millwall.
They should be called the Lions, shouldn't they, Chelsea? They've got a lion on the badge. They're called the Blues, aren't they? But that's just boring. That's just boring
as their club is, really. They've got no chance either, so that sounds about right.
Right.
Boring.
Hal, this is your last appearance until you make a couple of guest appearances next season. Any final thoughts on the channel? And I can't thank you enough, man, for jumping on. Like, honestly, I mean, the amount of comments I've had, the amount of messages I've had on Twitter, Hal lights up our week in, week out. And you do, man. You actually do. It's always lovely. A laugh. You do always find a way to just make us laugh every single day. Whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
You do.
Even with that ghastly cup of tea. Even with that, Hal.
On the worst viewed video you do all week, it's been an absolute pleasure.
I don't know about that.
I suppose there's the quiz.
Phil's transfer show is probably the worst viewed. The hours of research goes into between myself and Phil. That normally does the. I'm messing, of course. But no, this isn't the word. Look, we're not even talking about Leeds here. We're on the Leeds channel. We're not talking about Leeds, and it gets interest. We've got 177 people watching now on a Leeds channel, and we're not even talking about Leeds.
Madness. I mean, I've been trying to talk about Leeds, but no one lets me. You just keep asking me about Chelsea. I have to say thank you very much. You've all been very supportive. It's my own fault. When I first did that preview with Joe, was it second game of the season? Because Joe was like, "Oh, you're madly amusing, man. We might get you back on in the future, Lee." I was like, "Oh God, if only I hadn't been so witty and charming, I'd have had my Friday evenings for the whole season."
Can we just have one last Roy Keane impression? Or Sean Dyche, whichever is preferable.
I prefer Roy Keane.
To be fair, Roy Keane's just unreal.
What you wearing there? Headphones. Your fancy London headphones with your fancy London ears, Oscar. I can't even see your face. You look like a mouse. You look like Mickey Mouse. You look like one of those cartoon mouses in London. There you go.
Where's this London thing come from, by the way?
It was when he was at Sunderland and he couldn't sign players, and he said all their wives and girlfriends all wanted to sign for fancy London clubs. So it sort of stuck with me, that.
I love that. I love that. I could imagine Roy Keane not liking London, though. I could definitely imagine that.
It's everything that he would hate is just condensed into one city.
People walking around with, like, drinking cups of coffee. I just imagine him.
Looking happy and drinking coffee and get in a little train that goes under the pavement. What? It's madness. Just get a horse and cart like a normal person.
Anyway, guys, look, it's been an absolute pleasure. Get your comments in, guys. We'll get your comments in now, and I'll try and flash them up if I remember.
Read them quick.
So you can read them quick. We'll get your comments in, guys.
Unless you're Joe.
Can't thank you enough.
Corey, Joe
Hal,
lad. It'll be on for ages.
Corey, Hal, Locks, Elena, everyone that's joined us this season on Before the Whistle Blows. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Elena. That was
it.
Elena.
But we will be back next season. And yeah, just keep it locked, guys. Smash that subscribe button. We're going to be doing bits for the Euros as well. Maybe Hal and Corey might join us on that. Maybe they won't. Maybe they will. Hopefully they will. But yeah, we'll leave it there anyway. Any last words, Corey and Hal?
I'm going to be executed.
I will come on the Euro stuff. I promise.
You haven't signed your contract yet.
Whatever you want. I'll do a 5 o'clock game even. Just don't shoot me.
You haven't signed your contracts yet, so we
will kill you.
It's like the dictator, Bengi. Like when you come off air now, I'll be like that. I'm the dictator.
What was that?
The film The Dictator.
Yeah. I just saw the hand action. Not quite. I haven't seen the film. Didn't get the reference. Saw the hand action.
Oh, okay. Well, anyone that's seen the film will probably get that reference. Corey, have you seen the film?
I haven't, no, but again, the hand action
me.
threw me off.
The hand action.
Very aggressive. I'll sign the contract, don't worry.
I'll sign whatever you want. Just don't do that hand action again.
So anyway, that's confirmed. Hal will be back next season because he wants to be back next season. We'll leave it there anyway because we kind of are running quite a bit over, and I've got another show to jump on in a second on the LFC Day Trippers. So we'll leave it there, guys. Big match preview tomorrow. Check out Hal and Corey's channels. Sheffield United Way, West Ham Way. Check them out, guys. Which way's better? Hal, Sheffield United or the West Ham Way?
West Ham this season, isn't it? Quite clearly.
He knows.
What an answer. We'll leave it there anyway, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Smash the like, and we will see you next season on this particular show.